Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Don Walters welcoming you to a very special edition of the Staten Island Bowling Club. We have a very inspirational show for you tonight. We're here at the studio on channel 35, and we have a live broadcast. A little bit later on, during the course of the evening, there's going to be a number flashed on the screen. So all you viewers can pick up the phone and you can make a phone call. I think the number is 727-1185. So when the number comes onto the screen, if you have any questions for our guests, you can please don't hesitate to call. But let me take a minute to introduce my guests on the panel with me. To my right is the president of the Staten Island Blind Bowling League, Mr. Chucky Graham, who I have had the pleasure of knowing since 1978. And to my left is, I guess you could say, one of the pioneers that helped establish the Staten Island Blind Bowling League, Joe Messina. About 5 or 10 minutes, we're going to put a little video on it all you nice people can view. But right now, I want to tell you what we're all about tonight and what the Staten Island Bowling Club is trying to do for the Staten Island blind bowlers. Chucky, I guess at this point I'm going to turn it over to you so that you can say what you want to say.
Okay, like Donnie said, we started around 1978. I bowled before that in the city of New York, and I got tired of traveling, and we started a bowling group on Staten Island. At one time, we had up to about 40 people. Over the period of years, losing volunteer drivers and help, and trying to get more blind bowlers to come bowling, we're down to about 14. We are actually looking for more blind bowlers, more volunteers to come to assist. The volunteers assist in driving as well as calling pins for us. We do the work of knocking the pins down. If there are any new blind bowlers who need any assistance, we have coaches that can teach them, even from never seeing a pin. You'll see on the video, we'll show how we describe showing how to read pins. If you bowled in the past, then what we try to do is we try to explain to you how you use the approach, how you walk, do everything you did before you ever lost your eyesight. We have a new bowler tonight that's with us that just lost his eyesight about a year ago, who's doing very, very well. In bowling, he bowled before, but never bowled totally blind. And he's doing fantastic. He thought he couldn't do it, but he's going to be one of our up-and-coming bowlers. And he learned, I'd say, within about a week or so, because he had the experience of bowling. People who have never bowled before might take maybe about 2, 3, 4 weeks, depending upon how they can pick up. But we have an awful lot of patience. We'll teach the person over and over. We teach them where the foul line is, how to deliver the ball. And once they get that, then we teach them how to walk the approach. It's a matter of step by step. How you excel is how we teach. And anybody can bowl that's totally blind, anybody. We've had people who didn't even have the walking ability, like couldn't know direction. With the guide rail, they learned the direction. So there isn't anyone that can't bowl.
Chucky, you said you were looking for volunteers. Would the volunteers have any qualifications as far as age or bowling experience or anything of that nature?
No. No.
And exactly what kind of, in other words, what does a volunteer do? Does he drive? Does he spot? Does he participate in the game? Or
first of all, he drives, because they wouldn't allow us to drive.
I can't imagine why.
That's the first thing, is that he drives, because the island is so large that to get from point A to point B would take us forever to get to any bowling alley. So the driving is important. To spot, we teach them how to spot. We show them where the pins are. Most people know where the pins are, but they don't actually know the number. What we teach is the number.
Now, when we see the video, that's going to have a better explanation of how you can determine which pins are left, correct?
Correct,
okay.
Correct. So that we teach the volunteer the numbers of the pins first. Once they know the number of the pins, then we give them ideas of how to watch the bowler, how when he drops the ball, if he dropped his shoulder or he went right, his arm went directly across his body, to keep an eye out for different things like that. Joe Messina has been bowling for a long time, is a very experienced bowler. Rick is a very experienced bowler. Pete. These bowlers that are very experienced show the volunteers what to do and what to look for in the different blind bowlers, the newly blind bowlers that are being, and we as bowlers who've bowled for a long time need help. Because what happens is, we drop our shoulder, we go across our body, because we'll be bowling terrible one night, and we'll say, what happened? You know, Joe, keep an eye on me, there's something wrong. And then he'll pick out what I'm doing. I'm rushing, I'm doing something wrong. But you're not realizing it, because you're doing something so natural that you don't realize you're off that night. And they'll help us.
Joe, is there an age-old formula that seems to work when you get new bowlers, new blind bowlers into the system?
Well, the first thing we have to do is teach the numbers of the pins.
And this is a consistent thing that you do with every bowler
we
that
do.
seems to work.
Every bowler that comes in, we find out if they know where the pins are and the number of the pins, so that when we call 4-7, they know it's on the left-hand side of the alley. 6-10.
As a result of that, that gives them an idea also where they put down the first ball.
Right, right. When we call out what they left, they know if they didn't give lift or if they dropped their shoulder, and so on and so forth. The main thing that I find is in the approach. When a new blind bowler comes in and they haven't bowled very often, the approach, walking straight, using the guide rail, that's one of the big things that we find important.
So you basically talk them through that initial approach until it gets a little consistent.
When they first start bowling, we don't even use the approach. We just have them go down to the front of the alley by where the foul line is to get the swing of the ball, if they've never bowled before. And then we start slowly but surely getting the approach into it. And it's been working out very well.
Now, what is the function of a spotter? If I were a spotter, what would my job be?
You'd be calling out the pins. You'll be telling them what pins are left and what they did with their arm, if they threw their arm across their body, and so on and so forth.
Okay, and as far as the volunteers are concerned, is it any age? Is there an age limit? If I wanted to get volunteers, could I get young, old, in between?
No, we have my teenage son is a volunteer. He helps call out pins, and he helps keep score and helps get the balls, and you know, anything the adults do, he does. We've had volunteers in the past that were retired people, 60, 70 years old, that came down and helped us. So there's no age limit to volunteer.
Okay, well, you know, it's nice having all you good people bowling with us at Colonial Lanes on Monday night. It's always a pleasure. It's been a pleasure through the years having you. What I'd like you to do, Chuck, real quick, is just give me your phone number so that if anybody knows of anything or knows any volunteers, people that might want to help, they can give you a yell.
Okay.
Before we show the video.
My number is area code 718-981-9219. That's 981-9219. You'll get either myself or Arlene, which is my wife. She's also totally blind.
Tonight.
Right, Arlene's in the audience. She's also totally blind and bowls with us. You can call Joe Messina at the same area code, 718-370-3737. You'll get his wife, Linda, or his two sons, Chris or Matt. Chris volunteers with us. Matt comes down on his school day off the next day, and he helps. But Matt's a youngster growing up, has been with us since he's been a very, very young child, and has learned how to lead, how to help us. And as a youngster, he does beautiful. And Chris learned as a youngster, too. So that these two boys have really grown into our bowling, and they're fantastic helpers.
What's the first thing, Chuck, with all your years of experience at doing what you do, what's the most important thing for a newly blind bowler to understand when it comes to this great game? What's the biggest point that you have to make to them? Is it picking up the phone to call you? What's the first step they've got to take?
Just to call and say, I think I'd like to try. That's all we want to hear is you want to try. We'll do all the rest. If you're in doubt and you know someone, call us. We'll call them. And we'll talk to them. I'll rap with them. I'll talk to them about different things. I'll say, would you like to try it? Don't be afraid to call me to talk to them, to whoever the individual may be. Sometimes some people are partially sighted and are afraid to admit that they have a visual problem. But it's okay, because I'll talk to them and tell them that we do have people who see that bowl with us. They are partially sighted. Some of them could see and call the pins. They're still legally blind, but they have that particular vision that they can do it. But when they drop the ball, sometimes they don't know where they're dropping the ball. They can see the pins, but they can't see the actual spot on the floor sometimes. What we'll do is we'll try to outline that particular spot with a black tape, something. We'll put something on the floor that we can pick up when we're finished to make that mark so that that partially sighted person has the vision of dropping that ball at a certain spot. We'll do that. There are so many things we can do. Give us a chance, and we'll show any blind person how to bowl.
Okay, before we show the video that we shot Monday night at Colonial Lanes, we have one call. I want to take the call, and then we'll get to the video. Okay? Hello? Hello? Hello, caller? Okay, let's try one more here. Hello?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, what's your name, please?
Benita.
Hello, Benita, how are you?
All right. I seen the young man next to you bowl at Colonial a lot, and I wanted
I don't have a young man next to me.
I'm young.
Yes, you are. I wanted to know, is it very hard for you to bowl more than a sighted person? I mean, do
No.
your senses kick in more?
No, no. I saw before I bowled. I bowled in a high school league, partially sighted, and I saw, I know what the pins look like. I have a whole vision of what's happening. That helps me an awful lot, having a vision what happened, what's happening in front of me. So when they call the pins, like the 1, 2, 4, I'm left-handed, I know that that's my strike hit, to go between a 1 and 2 pin. When they call a 1, 3, 6, I know I have to lift just a little to get into the 1, 3 pocket to get the 1, 3, 6. I've seen, I know what it looks like. We teach a blind person who's never seen what the different pockets are, where the ball hits, and if in doubt, we'll take them aside and we'll still show them how to go for the different pins. But no, I don't have any different senses. I might use them that I've always had in my, in my lifespan, but I always concentrate on what's happening and what's going on.
Oh, I want to commend you on your dealing with the league I see you with over there. It's very nice, and I enjoy watching you. And I just want to say that I never saw any professional tournaments with blind bowlers, and I would love to see it. I don't know if you have ever been any, and I would like to know when can I ever see one, or do you think one will come up?
We do bowl nationally throughout the whole United States. We've bowled even in Canada. We've had I've been to a tournament in Canada. I've been to Chicago, Detroit, Kentucky, Cincinnati, Virginia, Washington, Philadelphia. Quite a number of states I bowled in, and some of our people in our league have bowled in these, because I bowled in leagues before we started the thing on Staten Island. And in Staten Island, we've been to several tournaments. In one tournament in Cincinnati, we came in first place as a blind bowling league. We had just organized a couple of years. We brought a team in, and we actually came into first place, and we just felt fantastic coming home with the trophies, the money, and everything. But we do bowl nationally. What happens is when a tournament like that is going on, they do it locally. They don't do it nationally. That's the problem. We're not recognized. We don't have that $1 million look to where it could be put all over the country. But locally, if it's in Cincinnati, the whole area of Cincinnati has a vision of what's happening with that tournament. If it's in Washington or Philadelphia. We had one in New York, a couple of them, but that was like in the early 60s and I think the early 70s. We had a tournament during that period of time, and locally it was advertised. But to see it in New York, maybe cable might pick it up sometime, because cable has an awful lot of things that they do that local stations won't do, nation stations, like ABC, NBC. But cable will do it. They'll put it all over the country, and they've got the capabilities of doing it, which is fantastic.
Oh, well, I wish you good luck.
Yeah. And come and say hello to us.
Oh, I will.
Okay?
I will.
Anita, thank you for the call.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, what we're going to do now, we're going to show that video that we taped on Monday night at Colonial Lanes. And that video, I believe, should run about 10 minutes. And that'll give everybody a basic idea of how you teach the individual bowler how to read the pins that are left. So, Lloyd, whenever you're ready, please, you could run that video.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Don Walters welcoming you to a very special edition of the Staten Island Bowling Club. The summer season is setting in on all the bowling centers here in Staten Island, and this night finds us at Colonial Lanes, and we have a terrific show for you tonight, so everybody sit down, relax, and enjoy the next half hour. I have with me some of the members of the Staten Island Blind Bowling League that participate in league play over here at Colonial Lanes on Monday night. A little bit later on in the show, they're going to have some actual competition on the lanes. Trouble is, right now I got 32 lanes going for the summer here at Colonial Lanes, and I just don't have time or room right now to get them on. We have to wait for one of the leagues to break, and then we're going to get them on the lanes. But before we get to that, what we want to do for you, all you viewers tonight, we want to talk you through some of the training that takes place with the Staten Island Blind Bowlers. And with me to do that is the president of the Staten Island Blind Bowling League, Chucky Graham, and also one of the mainstays that have been with them forever, Joe Messina, and one of your new bowlers, Sean Butler, and of course Chuck's last and certainly not least, Chuck's lovely wife should certainly be first, Arlene. So Chucky, what is this little keg board you have in front of us here that we're looking at?
Okay, what this is showing the blind person what the pins are. You have the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, the 8, the 9, and the 10. Now, when the pins are down, what we show them is the pegs that are left up. So if there was 3 off the left, he would take these 3 pins off,
Right.
and then they would feel this, and they would see they got the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 9 and 10.
Right.
Get the,
Now your spotters tell them
5,
what pins
6.
are knocked down on the first ball.
right. Got 3 off, and giving them a view that this is where this is where you're going to come in with the ball to grab the rest of these, because you got 3 off the left. You took out the 4, 7, 8,
Right.
and you have, like I said before, the pins here. It's to give them a feel of it.
Okay.
So what we're trying to do is give them an idea to visualize what's up, so that when they're throwing the ball down, where they're going to hit and what part of the pocket.
Right.
And also what we try to do also is we give the person who's never seen before a bowling pin and the ball in measurement and size of what it looks like, so that they can feel the pin and feel the ball and know this is how the ball hits the pin and how the pin moves. Because never seen a bowling pin or never seen before, they have no idea. They're looking at this pegboard,
Right.
but they've never been down to the pit of the alley to where the pins actually are standing and the size of them. So we take an actual pin and a ball and we show them what it feels like. We also have people who see, like Sean sees how to
I know
bowl.
Sean is new to you this year.
Right. Sean is new. Sean is newly blind. Sean bowled before.
Yes.
And Sean said that he couldn't bowl. We've mentioned this once before in one of the other programs, but Sean can bowl, and Sean knows he can bowl now because he's been doing it with us.
Right. And how's
But
he faring?
very well, very well. Sean's doing very well. Right, Sean?
Yeah, doing great.
Yep. So the idea of this is to show the blind person who is bowling what the pins are and what the pin numbers. And you know, many people who see don't really know the actual numbers of pins. They know the position that they're at, but they don't really know the numbers. It takes us a while to train any person.
Chucky, you do this. You do this with every new bowler that you get.
Yes, yes. We make them get an idea, feel, and know the numbers, because some of them know the pins and like that, but they don't really know the numbers. So we show them.
Okay, Chuck, that was just a brief outline of how you nice people train your new bowlers, the art of learning the pin numbers, and how the spotter would call them after each respective ball is thrown. Now from there, that's step number 1. What's step number 2 in the learning process?
Well, what we show them, like Joe was explaining before, we show them the foul line. In Sean's place, we just gave them an idea of where the foul line is, how to back up and position your steps. Like I start from the very beginning of the approach.
Now,
So I
let
don't
me
have to-
interrupt you for one second. Now, with your ABBA, American Blind Bowling Association,
Yes.
those are sanctioned leagues, so fouls do count.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes, without a
Okay.
doubt.
Okay.
Without a doubt, yes. Fouls count. In any tournament we bowl, if we foul, it's a dead ball. Like I was explaining, in showing Sean, we showed Sean where the foul line was and how at the end of the rail where he could back up and take as many steps as he wants, 2, 3, 4. Each person has a different way of using an approach. And what we had to teach Sean was how to square his shoulders off to the rail. That took a period of time. And once we showed Sean how to square his shoulders off, that might have taken maybe 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks the most. Sean goes up now, gets the ball, gets on the rail, boom, 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 and bowls. And Sean does very, very well. You know, Sean, I think, is even amazed himself. I think it's given him a great inspiration that he can do.
Sure.
You know, because you got to understand, if you soar for 34, 35 years, whatever it may be, and all of a sudden the lights are closed, what are you going to do? What's going to happen? And this is one of the things Sean is learning that he can do. And to me, I feel great because I know he can do. But it's a trauma. It's a tremendous
Sure,
trauma.
I'm sure.
When I lost my eyesight, it was a tremendous trauma. It took me 7 years to accept it.
How long have you been blind?
Oh, come on, Donnie. I'm 39 years old. and
Again?
Yeah.
Okay, Jack Benny. Okay, Jack Benny.
Over 30 years. Over 30 years, I'm totally
See,
blind.
but we also have a bowler with us that I don't think he ever bowled before. He's in the audience. Alex, did you bowl before you came with us?
No, I'd never bowled on a consistent basis. Mom had taken me to an alley a couple of times, but I really never got the feel of bowling properly until I started bowling with the league. When my mother took me to the alley, I didn't have a guide rail. No one really knew what the numbers of the pins were. And the manager was nice enough to come and help us at that time. That was when Sunset was still open. And he tried to help me out as best he could. But there's no substitute for having that
Practical training.
that training and that rail on your left side to guide you down. And it's a totally different experience now.
Well, see, now, Alex, he was bowling with us for a few years. Then he left for college. And we're fortunate to get him back this year with us again. But he has come a long, long way from when he first started bowling with us. Like he said, he knew how to throw the ball out there, but we showed him how to use the rail. We showed him, we gave him the pin counts. He's come a long way in bowling, and that's just one of many people who have, we feel proud of.
And Alex is one who has never seen the pins, right, Alex? You were born totally blind, right?
Yeah, I've been blind since birth, so
Right.
I've
So he never
never seen
saw
the pins at all.
Yeah,
See, but Alex is one of them guys that says, I can do it.
right.
And then he does it,
Yeah. Well, the other thing I see here that's vitally important, what this is teaching, number one, it's teaching independence to all of the people that have this terrible handicap. It's giving them the confidence to do other things, because it's one of these things, I came, I saw, I conquered.
Right.
And you guys are the catalyst of that, because you guys are the ones that are getting them started in it, Chuck.
Yeah. The only thing is, we don't call it a handicap. We call it an inconvenience.
An inconvenience, that's
Yes. Right, Alex?
Definitely.
Right, it's an inconvenience.
It's an inconvenience. We just have to learn to accept it, and we can do anything that we want to, anything that a sighted person is. We just have to learn the different methods of how to go about it. But I'm sure that if there were a blind bowler out there who wanted to dedicate his or her life to it, and make it their career, they could do it. We can do whatever it is that we set our mind to doing, and as long as the methods of training someone to do it are there, and in this case they are. So someone can learn to do this and take it to whatever heights they want. I mean, for me and for most of us here, it's a casual thing. We go once a week, and it's a good time. We do the bowling. This is not something that I wanted to make a career out of, but it's great fun, and anyone who would want to do that could.
Very good. Very good, Chuck.
Also, we have Marilyn. Marilyn happens to be one of our partially sighted bowlers. She's bowled with us for quite a number of years. Marilyn cannot see the pins down at the end of the alley, but when we tell Marilyn what the pin numbers are, Marilyn's able to, throw the ball in the position of trying to get those pins. And she's good. Marilyn's very good, right, Marilyn?
That's correct.
Right. And so, how long have you been bowling with us?
Oh, about 15 years.
Right. And how do you like it?
I like it. That's why I come back.
Right.
I know you're not coming back for him.
No!
God forbid.
But you have a good time, right, Marilyn?
Oh, yes, very much so.
Yeah.
You know-
And like we say, you don't have to be totally blind. Like I said, Marilyn has partial vision. She's able to walk the approach without the rail. We tell her what pins are up. If she's not hit the spot with dropping her ball, we let her know, Marilyn, you went a little bit, you dropped your ball a little too much to the right. We make her aware of what's happening. There's always someone around watching that's calling the pins that keeps an eye on when you're bowling, so that people who are partially sighted bowl with us. We have a number of partially sighted as well as totally blind. So don't hesitate that because you can see that you can't bowl with us. We're not all totally blind. We have many partially sighted bowlers.
So we have Mike who bowls with us he's with us for a few years, and he's doing well.
Mike, how do you like it, Mike?
Oh, I love it. I enjoy bowling on Monday nights. And like I said, I don't use a rail for the approach, but I see the pins, and if I miss, I can always ask one of the volunteers to help with the how many pins I have up or if it's a strike. And I tell you, it's a good sport.
But if it's a
I
strike,
really-
you don't see anything after that,
That's
right?
true.
Right, Mike?
It's true. You don't.
That's
You
like the
can-
lights are out.
That's right, but you could see it up on a monitor. If you're looking up, you see the big X, and you know you're hitting the strike. But it's
Really?
great. It's a
Hey,
good.
Alex, we got to look for the X from now on.
Yeah. Well, if you look up on a monitor. But it's
Oh, the turkey, that's right. 3 X's is a turkey, that's it.
It's a great sport, and I really do enjoy it. I'm looking forward to going back in September.
Very good.
Thank you.
Well, a few more minutes, Chucky. We want to show them another video
Okay.
to give all the viewers an idea of how you put the rails, how the rails are assembled. And I also want the viewers to get an opportunity to see some of you good people bowling, actually participate in the game. The phone lines
One
are...
of the things I want to
go
say
ahead.
is, don't forget, people, if anyone has a question, I don't care how silly it may be, don't be afraid to ask us.
And what's the number now? Give me your number again.
My number at home, but this number here.
Okay, well, the phone lines are on now, and our number is 727-1185. It's now on the screen. The phone is open. It's 727-1185. Don't hesitate to pick up the phone. I feel like I'm at a telethon over here. 727-1185.
Don't ever be afraid to ask any type of a question. But if you know of any blind people who would like to bowl, or any blind person who's watching this, the number is 981-9219. That's my home number. If you'd like to, join us, volunteers or blind bowlers, and that means partially sighted as well as totally blind. And Joe Messina's number is 370-3737. So please call us, and we're looking to get more. We want to get up to 40 again. That's what we'd like to get up to, or better.
Well, I remember
So-
back at the Knotty Pine, we had like 6-8 lanes going at one
Oh,
point in
yeah,
time
yes,
when you
we did.
guys, your inaugural season over there in 78, I believe it was.
And we have bowlers from, I think it was 14 years old up to 70.
Yes, yes.
It's
Right.
funny,
They-
we talked about them the other day. We
Right.
reviewed some of the bowlers and what had happened to them and how they moved on to different locations, relocated,
They've
whatever.
gone to school,
Yeah,
gone to
different
move,
vocations, whatever the
married.
case might be.
Yes.
Yeah, so they've moved on. So now we want to fill that void to get it back up to where it should be. Now, Joe, you've been with them since the inception, and I mean, guys like you have to be applauded because you're in this for the love of it. I mean, there's no monetary.
Yay,
for you.
Joe!
You're there every single week for all of these years with them nonstop, and it's certainly a credit to you. What's the greatest satisfaction that you get out of this?
Seeing how people progress as bowlers, Alex, Sean, Mike, Madeline. I remember Madeline when she first came down with us. She couldn't bowl, but now she's very good. Okay,
Her team came in first.
her team came in first place this year. The best thing I get out of it, these are my friends now. I used to be a volunteer. At one time I was a volunteer. I'm not a volunteer anymore. They're my friends now.
Now it's a given.
I can't get out now if I wanted to.
Blame him. Blame him. Blame him.
But like I said, it's tremendous satisfaction. Getting my boys into it, and they're learning. They're become volunteers, and they're learning about just learning about the blind people, how they accomplish things. Has to be, you know, complimentary to them. You know, they have to know that they can do things as well.
Absolutely.
So it's just a satisfaction, and I've learned a tremendous amount just by being with these people.
Well, I think if that next video is ready, Lloyd, I think we can roll it. Now, I'm thinking, Chuck, that this is the video where you're putting the rails together and maybe a little bit of a couple of frames of watching you bowl. So, Lloyd, whenever you're ready, please.
Of experience over here, let him do his on the other side.
All right, Chuck, you ready? Yeah. Experience. Hey.
Now, we've just seen the demonstration of what we do, what's to be done for the right-handed bowler. Now we're going to do the same for the left-handed bowler. And Chuck
I've been doing this for 18 years, so he knows how to set his own rail up. I can do it with my eyes closed.
And believe me, he's not kidding. Well, Chuck, we've seen you do this on several occasions, but to the people, the public, I'm sure some will be seeing it for the first time. Chuck, how long will it take you? About 2 minutes? Okay.
Let me just get some balls. Your sideways, Chuck. There you go.
I see you've got a technique to yours. Oh, man. No problem whatsoever. But I guess 18...
The is not to drop the wing nut.
If you was to drop it, how much problem would it take to find it?
Well, you start feeling around with your feet. And if you don't find it best with your feet, you get on your hands and knees.
Okay.
And you let your hands, which become your new eyes.
Okay, very good. Where there's a will, there's a way.
That's right.
Hi, how are you?
Well, thank you. What's this all about?
What's this all about?
Yeah.
These are blind bowlers that you're looking at, setting up their game for their...
For the bowling?
Yes.
Yes. I see. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Very much.
Very well.
What we do is we let Chuck set it all up and then we straighten it out.
Oh, okay. Well, look at this. He picks up the whole gear and goes right...
Yep, and he goes right down the line.
How about that? Well, that's what experience do for you.
Yep, yep.
How about this? What do you say, 18 years experience?
18 years with us.
Yeah.
He's been doing it before that, too.
How about that? Look at this.
I even have my son Matt helping us with the balls.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have young legs around.
Yeah. Gives them a sense of responsibility and teaches them. Help everybody out.
That is true. Very true. Now, you look at this. Use his hand as a guide to find the channel, and he knows exactly where to put that.
Now you'll notice Chuck doesn't put his directly to the gutter. He keeps his back about a half a foot.
Then it's my job to go up and set it up on the line and make sure it's straight. Then I come back and tape it.
Oh, very good. Very good. Chuck, how did you get into bowling?
I had partial vision when I was in high school, and I bowled as a partially sighted bowler. And then when I lost my sight completely, I had to learn how to use a rail, which to me was very, very hard because after seeing and then going on a rail, it was kind of tough. I think it took me a little longer than the average person because I did see partially. Here I am, I'm doing it as a totally blind person. And I think it took me a little longer than the average person. I guess deep down inside I was trying to fight the fact that I'm using a rail to bowl with. So it took me quite a while. I averaged like about 80 for about a couple of years. Now I average in the 120s, but it took a while to get into the hundreds and get up to the 120 average. Like this season, I ended up with, I think, a 123 average.
Very good. Very good. Hey, it's obvious that you put in a lot of time and effort because just to look at your bowl, it says, hey, that man.
Well, I love bowling. I love teaching bowling. I love to have people come to bowl. We have all ages of bowling. We have young bowlers, old bowlers, middle-aged bowlers. Any age. We take any age of bowling.
Yeah, from 8 to 80, right?
Right. Yes.
All right, we're going to let you demonstrate your ability. Your lovely wife and Sean, I guess, is going to roll a couple of balls too. Just to let the people know that, hey, you know what you're talking about.
Okay.
You're not just putting on a show. This is great. This is the message we're trying to get out. If they desire to bowl, there's no reason why they can't bowl.
Right. It's a great sport. It's an independent sport that they can do. They can set themselves up to the rail different ways, bowl different styles, however they feel comfortable with. And we have coaches that, let you know the ball went to the right, you drop your shoulder, you want to cross your body. We have beautiful volunteers that keep an eye on us when we throw our ball down. Did it go to the right? Did it go to the left? Sometimes you don't realize that you drop your shoulder or you want to across your body. You thought you did a perfect delivery, and all of a sudden the ball's in the right-hand corner, and you're bowling from the left, and you're saying, "Oh my God, what happened?"
True.
But we have beautiful volunteers that work with us all season. We bowl from September all the way until May, and we have a beautiful time doing it. And we have a beautiful house here. Colonial Lanes has been really great to us. They bend over backwards to help us, and anything we need, they're right there to help us. Donny's been a beautiful person here. He's been a terrific manager, and without him, it's very hard to bowl because we like alleys clean just like everybody else does, and he's there to do it, and that's important to us because we don't have to see the dirt, we can feel it, let me tell you.
Yes.
And he's running a beautiful, clean house. This place is really, really beautiful compared to what it was. It's really a beautiful house.
It's going to be better, so.
Yes. Thanks to Donny.
Surely. Real close so you can see exactly what he's doing. Good, right there. That's good. See it?
Okay, now this is Arlene Graham. She's a left-handed bowler. And she's throwing a ball down now. Okay, she got the 1 pin.
Look at that.
Arlene, you got a 2-pin standing. Now you'll notice that we have a left-handed and a right-handed guide rail on the alley at the same time. When we go away to national tournaments, that's the way they set them up. So when we go to a tournament, the last 4 or 5 weeks that we bowled, we set up both rails. Just a little bit to the right of it, you went over.
There we go. Well, Chuck, that was an indication to all of the viewers how the rails are set up and just a general idea of how people participate in a great game of bowling. How do we look now for future years as far as sponsorships are concerned?
Well, we've had the pioneers back for the last 18 years, and what's happening, the phone company, as everybody could see, a lot of the 9X people have, quite a number of them retired, and the pioneers are not as big as they were in the past. Fundraising is very, very hard. The financial support to us, this past year we only had 1/3 of our funding. So that as far as funding, we're in desperate need of funding because the pioneers are not there to fulfill what they did in the past. Because of, like I said, the retirement of the people that were behind everything is gone, we're looking for people to try to help us in any way they possibly can.
Okay, again, the phone lines are open, folks. It's 727-1185 is the phone number, 727-1185. So we talked about your nationwide tournaments with your American Blind Bowling Association. How do they stand behind you? I mean, they sanction your leagues and record all your scores that you keep? Or?
Yes, what we do is Joe mails in at the end of the year by June 15th. He has to have all of our scores in, our averages, our team status, the league status of what team's in first, second, third. They get everything that we've done for the past year.
Chuck, I want to interrupt you. We got a call coming in on line 5.
That's good.
Hello? Hello? Oh, hello? We lost them. Hello? Okay, we lost them. Wait a minute. Hello? Hello, caller? All right, so finish your thought.
Joe did all the statistics for the year showing our averages, our team status, and that gets sent to ABBA. They have a book that comes out. It comes out the middle of August, the beginning of September. Just before we start our league, everybody's average and league standing is in that book. Right, Joe?
Yes. The ABBA for the blind person is the same as the ABC.
The American Bowling Congress for the sighted people.
For the sighted people. Yeah. And it's run almost identical. They have tournaments. You have to have an average. All the statistics have to be sent in by certain dates. You get awards. Everything is run the same. And in order to go to the national tournament, you have to belong to the ABBA.
And you have to have sufficient games in also.
Right.
What's the efficient games? Is it 21 games?
Yes.
36 games?
Usually 21 games.
So basically, all the rules and regulations are very similar to
the
ABC.
Correct.
Right. Okay. Chucky, one thing that I wanted to bring out to all of the viewers, we unfortunately didn't get the opportunity to watch you bowl, but I've been watching you bowl since I had hair. What's your average anyway?
I ended up this year with a 123, Joe?
125.
125 average this year.
And that was high average for the league this year?
No. Vinny beat me out. Vinny
126.
126.
Very good. That's terrific.
Yeah.
That's terrific.
This has been my highest average in ages. I normally was in the teens. I broke the teens into the 20s, and I feel good. It was really a good year.
Good.
We had good times.
Let's see who this call on 4 is, hopefully.
Okay.
Hello? Nope. Okay, we lost them also. Okay, so you're looking forward to coming back in September. We're looking forward to having you back in September. Can we look for any changes to take place in your league for September?
The biggest change we're looking for is that we have, instead of 14 bowlers, 40 bowlers. We're looking to come in with a big group this year. Hopefully that everyone can give the message out to the people that if they're interested in bowling, Whether they can bowl or not, we're there to teach them. We're there to help them. You know, this is what we're looking for. We're looking for more blind bowlers.
Okay, let's see who this call-in for is. Hello, caller.
Yes, hello. Is this Staten Island Bowling?
Yes, it is. How are you tonight?
Okay. I'm watching your show. It looks very interesting.
And who's calling, please? Your name is?
Oh, my name is Candy.
Hi, Candy. How are you?
Okay.
What's your question?
Well,
And for who?
I wanted to know how do the people that go bowling in this group that you have, how do they know how not to get the ball in the gutter, you know, in the gutter aisle?
I think you can take care of that, Mr. Chuck.
A lot of praying. Now, what we try to do is we try to deliver the ball as best we can. If we're doing something wrong, the coaches, the volunteers, the assistants tell us, hey, you dropped your shoulder. We try to keep it out of the gutter. Most of us do keep it out of the gutter.
He means the ball, not his mind. Yeah.
But we're shown that if we go too much to one side, that, hey, you dropped your shoulder, you twisted your wrist, you went across your body, things like that.
Okay.
Candy, thank you very much for the call.
Any other questions, Candy?
Well, I'm going to watch your show, and maybe I'll think of one in a couple of minutes.
But when you come down to Colonial Lanes, right, come over and say hello to us. We bowl on Monday nights. We'll be starting this winter, September the 8th. On a Monday, we bowl from 7 to 9:30. So don't hesitate to come down. And if you'd like to volunteer, we'd love to have you. Call pins or anything. You can do anything to help us.
Okay, if you promise to show me how to keep the ball out of the gutter, I'll come down.
Well, do you know how to pray?
Yeah, I do that once in a while.
Okay, well, then you have to do it a lot, because that's how you keep it out of the gutter.
All right.
Candy, thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hello.
Yeah, I wanted to know if I can make a donation.
I would certainly give that to
Yes.
Mr. Graham.
Yes, you can.
Where would I send that money to?
You could send it to 195 Catherine Street. Attention to the Staten Island Blind Bowlers. Make sure it's Staten Island Blind Bowlers, because I'm also the president of the Staten Island Blind Society.
Had to throw that in there, huh?
So we want to make sure that you put blind bowlers on it.
Does this money go to all blind, or?
Yes, all the blind bowlers that would go to. Right.
Okay, anything else?
Where do you play?
We play at Colonial Lanes, that's on Bay Street. It's
I'm glad he asked.
in Clifton. It's not far from Bailey Seton. It's when you go along Bay Street, you'll see the railroad tracks, you know, the Toonie trolley that goes by. We're just before that. We're just before it,
Right
right?
across from the station.
Right across from the station is the bowling alley.
All right. And you guys, how long have you been together?
We've been together since 1978, 18 years.
Wow.
And we've been at Colonial Lane on and off for about, I would say about 10 of it, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Because we bowled at Colonial Lanes and they had closed down. And we were bowling at Sunset. Sunset closed down, we went back to Colonial. We feel like a bouncing ball, we go back and forth.
Forgot Natty Pine.
Yes, and we started at Natty Pine. Natty Pine closed up, now that's Western Beef. And we went from there to Colonial.
You got bounced around.
Yes. But
right.
we're still going. It's 18 years we're still
Like
going.
that rabbit, huh?
Yeah, right?
What's your name?
Kurt.
Kurt?
Yep.
Yep. Kurt, thank you very, very much.
No, thank you.
And my phone number is 981-9219. If you want any further information, give a call.
All right, thanks a lot.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for the call. Have a great night.
All right, you too.
I'm looking at the phone. Like I'm seeing the person on the phone. Also, what we try to do also is, with some of the bowlers, we give them an idea of, like I said, the approach, how to bowl. We also, give them an idea how to keep score. I do a lot of scoring in my head because I don't trust the machine
I
sometimes.
noticed it. Well, no, you don't trust the guy you're bowling. Never mind.
No, the machine. Because sometimes the machine might not pick up your spare. It happens once in a while. Volunteers are supposed to look at it, but they're sometimes coaching and not realizing it. And I'll say, oh, my score is such and such. I say, oh, no, it is. I said, what do you mean? Didn't that mark that spare? And they go and look and say, oh, no, and then they'd have to, adjust it. But we teach how to keep score. Of course, we do a lot of math in our heads mentally. And we teach it. Like one ball after the spare, it's 10 plus whatever the score is. The strike is 2 balls plus whatever the score
You know,
is.
it's a lost art today, keeping score with all the computers.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
It's a lost art, keeping score.
Yes,
'Cause
it is,
all
it
the
is,
centers,
it
with the
is.
exception of Colombian, keep it for you, computerized.
One of
Right.
the things I'd like to add is that after the season is over, we have a bowling dinner, awards night. We're having it tomorrow night.
I'll bring my appetite.
Yeah, we'll be at the Staten, and we give trophies, we have dinners, and we'll do a little dancing, and just a little. What we do is, so the people that want to come to bowl know we charge $5 a night to bowl the 3 games. That money goes towards the dinner and the awards. We also have a dinner for Christmas, at Christmas time. So the money that you're paying each week goes towards the awards dinner and for the Christmas dinner. Hopefully, the sponsorship will pay for the bowling. And in the past years, it's happened, but unfortunately, this year we got cut by the Telephone Pioneers of America because they had to allocate their budget to different things.
Different avenues, yeah.
Different avenues. They're getting big in education now, so which is another worthy cause. But we still need the sponsorship also.
Now, we also, in some bowlers, sometimes some of them can't financially afford anything. We quietly take care of that. We don't advertise it.
Very discreetly, right?
No one, yes.
Yeah.
No one's knowing who's paying, who's not paying. We don't make it obvious that someone couldn't afford to pay for that particular thing. We do it very quietly, and we're there to have you come to bowl. If you can afford it, fine. If you couldn't, it's taken care of.
That's very important. That might be a consideration why somebody wouldn't make the call to you.
Yes.
You know, for
Financially, don't
financial
worry
reasons.
about it.
Yeah.
There's no problem
So
financially.
really, the emphasis here is on fun.
Yes.
And I mean, that's the bottom line.
Right. That's it.
And finances and all that other good stuff is just a secondary situation.
Exactly.
Okay.
And of course, Colonial Lanes have done, like we said, we had 1/3 of our season paid for. The other part, we didn't have the finances for. And, thanks to Colonial Lanes, they came in and we finished our season. They helped us drastically to finish the season. We give a great award to Colonial Lanes for helping us finish our season.
Well, we're going to take this next call on lane 4. Come on, Chuck.
On lane 4?
On lane 4.
Yeah, you can tell Donny's a bowling person.
Hello?
Oh, Donny.
Yes.
Jim Garrity.
Hello, Jim. How are you, my friend?
How you doing?
Okay, yourself?
Pretty good.
How'd you hit him last night?
I was getting better.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's fun.
Good.
I was turning the stations and I caught the show.
Good.
And I just want to give you all some encouragement. It's good to see. A few weeks back, I caught the blind bowlers on cable, and I watched them. They were pretty good. I was really impressed. It's the first I've heard of them, and it's really something to watch. And I'd like to give you some encouragement. It's really good to see you involved with them, and it's a great thing. I do have a couple of trophies. Do they give out trophies?
Yes, we do.
All right, I have a couple of trophies. When I come down to bowl, I'll give them to Donny, and he can pass them on to you fellas. And unfortunately, I gave most of mine away a couple of years ago to the down in Colonial Lane to the handicapped children, and maybe they get some use out of them now.
That'd be great, Jimmy.
Jimmy, also come down and help us. Come down and volunteer. Be down there, give us some support. Clapping, calling.
Monday nights, right?
Yes, Monday nights. Give us some tips.
I'm calling next year Monday night. Say Donny has the King of the Hill, so I may be down. I'll be free.
Yeah, and between the King of the Hills, you can come over and come down to down to the hills.
And he's bowling at Colonial in September, I might ask.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Colonial. So Colonial is turning the corner.
Yes, it was a good time, and I really enjoyed the show. And like I said, just like to encourage you all to keep it up. You're doing a fine job. I was really impressed watching his bowl.
Thank you.
It was really impressive.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you very
Jimmy,
much.
as always, thank you, my friend.
We'll see you in September, Jim.
Okay, take care now.
I'll see you Monday at King of the Hill.
All right.
All right, Jim. not only is he a class bowler, he is a class man.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, it's been a
But we're
pleasure.
going to come
Been a
down to that
pleasure
king of the
through
hill. We
years.
want to be the bottom of the hill.
Yeah.
You be the bottom?
Yeah, we want to hold the kings up.
Be a hill of beans for that thing. But anyway, all right, what else do we have to cover here? We got about 5 minutes.
Does anybody have any questions out in the audience that they'd like to ask?
We do have a very nice
Linda.
sit-in.
Here's Linda. Linda is Joe Messina's wife, who sits home every Monday night while we're bowling, who helps with the statistician work on the computer. What do you have to say, Linda?
Very, very little. I know that my husband enjoys working with the blind bowlers. We go away. We have wonderful, wonderful times on our trips away. Remember Chicago, Chuck, at 3 in the morning?
Yes,
With
yes.
the rollaway bed?
Sounds like she's checking on him, Joe.
I personally would like to see a heck of a lot more volunteers and a lot more bowlers. I'd like to see my husband a little bit more at home. But thanks to the bowlers, my husband's now a computer literate. And knows how to use the PC.
Very good.
Thank you.
Very good.
Okay.
And how about Rick? Rick is one of our
over here.
volunteers.
Yeah.
He's been with us for quite a while.
We've got a minute left.
Oh, 1 minute.
I just, I've been, like what Chuck says, I've been there for about, I think about 6 or 7 years, go down to help out a little bit, and I'm an avid bowler, I enjoy bowling a lot, and, as everybody said, it's really great to see how everybody, progresses and comes along and works with their, the challenges in front of them.
Okay, we're just about out of time. I want to thank Mr. Graham and Mr. Messina.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure being with you nice people. I want to remind all the viewers that my next stop at the Staten Island Bowling Club will take place this Saturday at Columbian Lanes for the next 2 weekends, with the cable cast scheduled for the 23rd of June. And I also want to remind you that you are watching the Staten Island Bowling Club, the longest-running sports show here on CTV. We'll be celebrating our 10th anniversary in February. Also, come on down to the new Colonial Lanes. You won't be surprised at what you see. A total rehabilitation by September. It will be state-of-the-art like all the other bowling centers. So come on down, be a part of the group that's going to join us at Colonial Lanes in September. To all you viewers watching tonight, I want to thank you very much for your continued support with the Staten Island Bowling Club. And remember, to go bowling, it makes you feel like you'd like to.
We'd like to thank Loy for all of the work he's done to advertise the Staten Island Blind Bowling League and about the Staten Island Blind Bowlers. We'd like to thank you, Donny, for all you've done. Both of you guys have done fantastic. We'd like to thank the cameramen, Frank, Danny, the other gentlemen that are helping us with this program. We appreciate, we really do. These guys are fantastic. I've seen Frank and Danny down at the bowling alley, and these guys are terrific.
And they are volunteers.
And they're beautiful people. I don't know the other two gentlemen. What's their names, Donny?
What's your name? Fasal.
Fasal? Yeah. We'd like to thank you guys very much, because without you, this crew and you and Loy, Donny, this couldn't happen. And thank you very, very much. We really appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, my friend. Always a pleasure. And again, all your viewers, thank you for your continued support. And we'll see you next time from Columbia Lanes with the Staten Island Bowling Club.